Welcome back. You're still watching Sports Tonight. We're broadcasting live from Channels TV Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. A lot is going down tonight on the show, but we're giving attention to roller skating. Yes, it's gaining some momentum in the country. Kids love it. Parents are supporting them. And we have the Nigeria Roller Skating Federation. That federation has been recognized by the Nigeria Olympic Committee. We have the president of the federation here with us. We're talking about roller skating being dangerous, and you're trying to justify that. Hey, every other sport is dangerous. Even football is dangerous. But you talked about skills and discipline. But tell me aspects of the sport that protect the participants just in case there's any harm coming on.
One, you can't go on with the sport without helmet.
Okay.
Helmet.
Even when you're
because
training.
of the brain. Even when you are training. When we observe that you are going against that rule, we stop you because you can't train without the helmet. And apart from that, you have to follow the instructions. You have to follow your coach. We have very few coaches in Nigeria. And before the next league that we are preparing, we are going to contact coaches outside the country. Although we are able to sponsor some for just this, to display the flag of Nigeria. We are in Japan. We are in China, but then NOC was yet to recognize the sport
at the time.
At that time, yes. But so now the NOC is ready. The only problem, like you know, is that government is only interested in giving commitment to football, and we are saying.
That's why we need to do things as this that will make
and that is why we want to thank you, channels, for even encouraging the government to come in.
That's right.
Because if we focus on only one sport,
but it's not just channels or the media alone. We need to see federations of putting their, putting words to action, doing this sort of stuff that you did and made the NOC recognize you. Let's talk about this league. It's interesting because when we do a league, it's for a period of time. What are the plans to get it started?
Well, one of the problem setbacks, is funding. But even our sportmen and women who are going to Togo now, there was no sponsorship from anywhere. I have to do it on my own. Yes.
Did you speak to the ministry?
Well, we wrote to them. Even when we wrote to the ministry, especially Lagos, they don't have vehicle. They even told us that the Senate is coming to Lagos to carry out oversight function. And they are even appealing to some other federations to assist them with vehicle. You can see the whole Lagos. I think you are just talking to somebody at the National Stadium. You get to the National Stadium, you weep for this country. Emotion will move you to weep for this nation. So the only thing is to appeal to corporate bodies. But there is one thing we need to know. And thank you for devoting your time to encourage sports. Sports will reduce the crime that we are crying, the insecurity we are talking about. Sport will reduce it, and we have real talent. Look at what the young people are doing. 11 years, 12 years, 15, 18 years. Look at these young men, girls and boys. Look at them. So we have even more than 1 million Nigerian youths that can display.
Just
can even go beyond
them
this.
knowing that they can achieve their dreams of competing at the Olympics and all of that. It requires a lot of support. Let's come back to the African Championship. How did we select the skaters that traveled to Lomé?
Yes, there was a national trial. And, 2 months ago, we were at the Ilorin Games. That is the youth games at Ilorin that took place here in Ilorin.
And roller skating was
yes, was.
Oh,
yes.
That's cool.
And the Ministry of Sport was happy that the display was wonderful, that this is really international standard. After that, we have to count them, different clubs. From the clubs, there was this selection.
That's those skaters that came out from Ilorin.
Now move into the national trial. After the national trial, we selected some from the various clubs that came for the national trial. After that, we camped them at the Institute of Sport for more than 2 weeks.
Wow.
Before this game now.
Before they left for
the
You said we have 15.
We have 15 of them.
Break it down for us. What categories?
Well, we have marathon race. We have although it's speed skating. This speed skating, like what you have seen now, there are different, maybe high jump, but it is part of skating. You don't jump and sit down. You move. The level you move after the jump, we now give you scores. Are you able to move after scaling that very jump? If you can't jump, if you cannot move, maybe 10 meters, 5 meters, all these are part of the recording of your capacity, your ability, your skillfulness will be recorded.
Okay.
Then the marathon and the speed race, all these are categories that we win medals for.
It sounds good. So what's next after this African Championship?
African Championship, we are thinking of, like what I told you, the zonal level in terms of league, now the national league. Okay. So we hope that when some corporate bodies, you speak to some corporate bodies, you also help us to tell them, what are we doing for these young people who are into skating? Can they assist? If they assist, those who are trying to think of going into crime, we just leave crime and engage themselves positively and make Nigeria proud.
President, it sounds good, but what's the federation's plan to take this to the schools?
Yes, there is this, some of the clubs, they are engaged in school activities.
Okay.
But as a federation, we are yet to come into the aspect of schools. Almost all the clubs that are affiliated to the federation have their own school programs. Yes, we are here to organize national school program for skaters, for young skaters.
Okay.
But from the clubs that are affiliated to the federation, we have idea of how we can reach out to the schools.
Okay, sounds good. Let's talk about coaching. I'm glad you mentioned it, that we have few coaches. What are the plans to get more coaches and even train the ones that you have right now?
Well, we are going to approach the National Institute of Sport, but because this is a new sport in Nigeria,
yes,
the lecturers that deal with skating in that very institute, they are telling us that they will get lecturers from outside Nigeria, and you don't blame them because this sport is really new in Nigeria. Okay. Although globally, in advanced countries like Europe, America, and all that, this is part of their life. Okay. But now that we are interested in this sport in Nigeria, I believe that the Ministry of Sport will get us lecturers, people who are going to train our coaches and all that. Like the coach that is now leading them to the African Games, we have two wonderful coaches, Mr. Kedron and Mr. Prince Will. Prince Will now is leading them to that game. Prince Will 2 or 3 times has been in Japan, China.
That's good.
To display the Nigerian flag, telling the world that we are interested in this sport. And now NOC has made it possible. So we are grateful.
Let's take globally. What's our relationship with the International Roller Skating body?
Yeah, they are really wonderful. They are waiting for us to come up with our league, and they are ready to help us with helmets. They are ready to help us with the skating shoes and all that. They have given us some promises, and we believe that the more they see us, that we are serious with this game, and we are coming up with, league programs. They are going to help us with technical assistance and all that. They promised to give us.
Because I was about to ask if they don't have grants to support maybe takeoff projects.
Well, grant matter now is out of it, but material-wise and all that, I believe that they can deal with us, and they have promised to do that. But grant issue has not. They have not. We are paying our own affiliation fees to the African Championship. We are paid. That is why we are going for this game. But we are paying out of our own, from our own pocket, not from any other source. And that is why we are appealing to the corporate world to help Nigeria in this. You can see very beautiful sports, children, like this. And before you know, 4 or 5 years, children, when they are on this movement, you'll be wondering, so what is happening? So in fact,
that's they are very sharp.
Yeah, very sharp.
Is 100%, and with the support of their parents,
yes,
they can get better.
In our press conference, some parents that witness what is happening accompany their children to the press conference at the National Stadium that I address, and in fact, I thank the parents for believing in the sport and believing in their children. When the team Nigeria was leaving this morning to Lome, parents were at the park to also pray that they come back with medals. and they were on our national.
Sounds good. It sounds good. President, you mentioned that this game or sport rather has gone as far as 20 states of the federation.
Yes.
Do you have state associations?
Yeah, well, the state associations, it is, for now, we only have clubs that are coming from the states.
Okay.
But to have the clubs, like in River State, you are chairman of River State Association, we have not got to that level.
Okay.
But we have 5 clubs in River State, 3 clubs in Cross River, Kaduna State, 4 clubs. So we have clubs that are all over, at least more than 20 states. And they were all part of the press conference in Lagos. Okay. People from Kaduna, Kano, they all came. Delegates came to Lagos for us to pray for these ones that are going to Lome to represent Nigeria.
Tell me about our experience at the West Africa Games.
Well, the West African Games, when it's in Nigeria, that psychological fear and intimidation is there. So I think we are lucky to have come home with 4 medals, because in fact, the team that we are taking, when I saw the list of Egypt, Tunisia, just yesterday, I believe that the moment they see the Nigerian spirit, first the fear, and we have told our athletics that be bold, because that boldness creates fear. So with that fear alone, your opponent will collapse and you are ahead. So
don't get too confident and fall.
Yes, but you see, there is this Nigeria fear. Even Argentina, the football we are talking about, it is when the moment they say Nigeria, they will be saying the Lord's Prayer.
That's what we keep talking about, that Nigerian spirit, and that same thing Mike Miyake was trying to say, that there's just something about Nigeria, and that's what the president is also saying. I want you to be part of nation building, roller skating in Nigeria. How can it get better? How can we get it developed? How can it get more following? And of course, with your support, we've started by talking about it. We have a team going to Lome. Talk to us on Twitter channels, _sports, Facebook channels like Facebook. Let's give the president some words he can use. Go back, talk to his team, and say, look, we have started. Nigerians are loving this, and we can get better. What's the reaction of the Ministry for Youth and Sports when you did this demonstration in Ilorin?
Well, they appreciated the sports and accepted that there is need to encourage the sport. But, budgets and all that, there is one thing to say something, and then with the system, we all know the system. But we are praying that there is need for us to correct this system. Lamentation will not help us. We will continue to encourage the Minister of Sport to come in. When we met with the ministry over just vehicle to move to the border, and they don't have, it's very sad. It's not fair. It's not fair, because sport handle the young people, and the young people, they are the future leaders. So if we don't engage them, that is why we are all afraid of robbery, crime, this, that. If we want to reduce this, the money we are giving to Ministry of Defense, we should commit the same amount to youth and sport and education. Nigeria will change. Nigeria will change for the better.
I totally agree with you. Sports tonight on Channels Television. Roller skating gets our attention tonight on the program. We have the president of the federation. He's still young, but he's vibrant because the young people are involved, and the president is optimistic that he can keep getting better and better. President, before I let you go, just one more question. So you've talked about this team returning from Lome, and then we getting serious with the league.
Yes.
What other ways do you think we can, what can we do? What other little things do you think we can do to get roller skating out there?
The most important thing is to appeal to the corporate world to give the same attention they are giving to football, to other to other sports like roller sport. If you can see the spirit is high, but if they don't have the right boots, every year you see the changes, the manufacture of even the helmet.
It keeps changing.
The standard of helmet that you will see from other countries, even in an international competition, can intimidate you. So if we are getting these corporate bodies to say, oh, as far as Nigeria is concerned, what South Africa corporate bodies are doing, they are doing for one of their best sports is it hockey, cricket?
Then
rugby. So even with that, they are committed to football.
They came to Nigeria to beat us.
To beat us, yeah. So it is not like Nigeria, we say, okay, we have a lot of resources, or everything will be interested, everything about government, oil. So all other resources that we have, now continue to become problem to the country. Yeah. So we should not say because we have all the resources you think about in this world, Nigeria, God has given to Nigeria. But the whole country is focusing on oil. That is why our development is standing.
So we're glad that persons like you have taken roller skating to heart and you're trying to develop it. I kept this one for the last, President, before we let you go. Do you skate?
Well, yes. And I can't skate more than moving from this place to, I think, to the camera there. Because if I move beyond that, I think I will land in the hospital.
Thank you so much for coming around, Joseph. He's the president of the Roller Skating Federation of Nigeria. We're taking a look at the sport that is gaining some momentum in the country. Sports Tonight on Channels Television. Let's go on this quick break. When we come back, we'll continue to talk about the draw that produced Nigeria in Group D. Don't go anywhere. Stay.